Okay guys, we're back at the shop with the 440. Tom and Carter are here, and this is the video. We're gonna get this thing running for its first start, so stay tuned. So before we jump into this video, guys, I want to encourage you right now, if you're enjoying some of this content of the first start on this Dodge Monaco, go ahead and click that subscribe button, become a member of the Olde Carr Guy community, and you'll get to see all kinds of neat projects that we're working on, like this 440 Monaco. Before we jump right into getting the first start done on this, Tom had to have the radiator record because, well, the one that he ordered that said it fit the Monaco, well, it didn't fit, it was too big. So here's some footage that Tom took of getting the radiator record.
Hey guys, it's a cold morning here, and we got a lot going on today. We had a problem with the radiator a couple weeks ago. It didn't fit. So, fortunately, my brother picked it up and brought it to my house, and I had a friend that was traveling up last week up to Bangor, and he dropped it off. He dropped it off at Bangor Radiator. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous because it's the original radiator, and I decided to have it record and refinished. So, on the way back from southern Maine up to northern Maine where I live, I stopped in and spoke to Adam and the other staff. They were wonderful. They didn't mind my questions. They assured me that it would get done, and guess what? It's done. It's gonna be done today at noon. So, off we go. Not a lot to see on the way there. I might try to get some video on the way there. And oh, sassy girl, you ready? Yeah, she's ready. She likes going for a drive. So anyways, enough of that. Let's get going. Safely to Bangor. It snowed a little bit, slowed us down a little bit. Pretty excited. We're going to go in and take a look at it, but here we are. We're at Bangor Radiator. So let's take a peek inside here, and let's talk with Adam, see how we made out. See you in a second. Okay guys, here we are. We got the radiator all put back together, and you know, here at Bangor Radiator, they took great care of me and took care of the radiator in a very, very quick turnaround. It was what, 4 or 5 days? And this is Adam. And Adam, tell me a little about yourself, a little about the business here.
The business, my name is Adam Beals. I own Bangor Radiator here in Bangor, Maine. We've been in business since 1930, so we've been around a long time doing this kind of work. What else you want to know?
Well, what did you do to the, can you tell me first of all, was there any problems with radiator? What did you find when you started digging in to try to fix this up?
Well, the cores were leaking quite bad on the top tank and the bottom tank, and you also had a leak on the outlet on the bottom. So I disassembled the core, took the side brackets off, both tanks off, sandblasted the top and bottom tank inside and out, cleaned out the oil cooler on the bottom, and reassembled the core, painted it when we were done. So,
and you're pretty confident it should do the trick?
This should do the trick for quite a few years.
Excellent, yes. Excellent. Well, Adam, I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate you getting me right in. You understood that the urgency kind of behind the situation and what we're up against right now, and of course, you know, with COVID, it certainly has changed a lot with, you know, employees that are here. And I understand that the business just recently sold to you, actually.
Yes, yes. I just bought the business within the last 2 weeks.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So it was great timing for me to show up with this 1968 radiator. So.
Yeah, I love working on the old ones.
Yeah.
There's nothing like them.
Well, there you go, guys. Bangor Radiator in Bangor, Maine. See Adam. He'll take care of you. Again, thanks a lot, Adam.
Thank you.
So before we can get this thing started for the first time, as you guys recall in the last video, we had troubles getting it to start. Well, we've been trying a bunch of different things, and we think we finally have got it. So before we jump into that, we do have to do a little bit of plumbing here. Tom's got the new radiator and it's ready to go back in. We got some hoses and stuff like that to get hooked up. And we're gonna try and swap out a coil maybe and do a few little things before we can actually attempt to start this thing. So let's get that radiator in and plumbed up, and then we can get to work on first start. Okay, so a lot of you guys were talking about some of the things we need to try, and one of them was making sure that the engine was on top dead center. So we did do that, of course, by making sure the rotor button was pointed at cylinder number 1, which is right here. The problem that we had initially was on these big blocks, the distributor turns counterclockwise, not clockwise like they do on the small blocks. So I did have the plug wires backwards. Once we got that figured out and tried to start it again, it still wouldn't start. So then we were back to checking on the wiring for the electronic ignition. So we did get some of that straightened out as well. At least we hope we did. And all the plug wires have been checked, double checked as far as the order goes. When we were trying to get it started, we tried to advance the distributor as much as we could, and well, we just bottomed out. So we took the distributor gear out one more time, moved it one tooth, and that should give us a little more adjustment on the advance should we need it. We did double check, there is oil, and we've also got antifreeze in the radiator now. And I think we're just about ready to get this thing cranked over. We got the fuel. If you guys are ready, we're gonna get in and we'll crank this over and see if we can get it running. How's that sound?
You put that wire on the coil?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we got it figured out the way we're gonna try it anyway. Okay, so I think this is like take 25. I don't know what it is. Okay, Tom, go ahead and
You ready?
crank her. Yep. Okay. We got fuel.
Fuel coming?
Huh?
Fuel coming?
Yep.
The distributor was almost on, wasn't it, before?
Yeah, we didn't touch it.
Starting to do.
Oh, it's not too bad. It's,
You just hear
it's
what you
winter.
said.
Well, instead of pulling live from there,
Lights work.
I'm pulling live from that, so actually I gotta cut that wire.
But the line's gotta go here. You gotta have line one there.
Lights work in the back.
Well, it is, it's going through the ballast resistor over here. Yeah, it's coming back.
Can you keep holding it?
Just turn the key forward, Tom.
You ready?
Yep. Okay, so what we found was over there on the side of the fender, there's the original ballast resistor. One side has 12 volts, one has about half power. The half power side wasn't hooked up, and neither was the 12 volt. We didn't think it mattered because it's just supply. Once we hooked that up, then we now have power to this wire, nice and bright. So Tom's gonna hold that onto the coil, and I'm going to try and start it from over here, and we should at least get a kick. If we do, we know we're in the right, going in the right direction. So let's try this. That's what we wanted to hear. Oh, we're getting closer.
It sputtered.
It sputtered. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Right back. So I keep going back to the instructions, and one thing the instructions don't tell you is that this wire right here with this little eyelet connection was connected to the old coil. It has 12 volts to it right now. It doesn't tell you in these instructions to use that as your 12 volt source or your run source. It doesn't tell you to use it. It doesn't tell you to connect it to the coil. I don't know what to do with that. But because it's got 12 volt power, I'm gonna take the power off of the source I had and try and get it from this and see if that makes a difference. I know this is what the problem is it's in the wiring, but these instructions from this company, which is proformparts.com, sucks A. And yes, I'm leaving that in there. So now what we're gonna do is we've got power that's come to this from that original wire. Everything else is the same. We're gonna see if we got spark here in our little spark tester. If we do, then we're gonna try and start it and see if it'll run. Well, we're at the point right now, or at least I am, frustration has set in. We're really no further ahead than we were at the end of the last video. And I'm gonna make a phone call in the morning to the company that makes this ignition system and find out what the hell I'm doing wrong. I don't know. It seems pretty simple. It's really only 2 wires that you gotta find power for. I'm following the instructions and it's not working. So it is possible that we have a faulty ignition system, but I doubt it because we've had it running, or at least to the point where we could run it for a second or two. We didn't let it go any further than that because we had no cooling system in it. So tonight's episode was supposed to be a first start for you guys. I figured it would just be a matter of hooking those wires up and starting it and boom, running it, getting it up to temperature, breaking in the cam, and this video would be over with and you guys would be happy and it would get like 10,000 views. But no, here we are. Anyways, I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. We're back in here tomorrow morning, and for you guys, it'll just be a few seconds. We'll see if we can tackle it with a clear head and get this thing running. I told you it'd be by the end of the video, and I'm gonna hold myself to that. So we'll see you guys in a bit. So it was at this point where we got the motor running simply because we switched back to the old distributor, added new points and condenser, but we had a noise in the top end. So we did a thing.
We did a thing.
And we realized we weren't getting any oil up to the top side of the engine. We did get it running, but as soon as we noticed the noise, we shut her down. And we forgot a plug. So way down in behind here, there's a plug that goes up this way, and it wasn't in there. So we did miss that. We had the plug here, so we just put that in, and we got the drill out to prime everything, and there's lots of pressure behind that. It's actually starting to smoke the gun. So we're gonna put everything back together on the front. We'll get the rocker assembly back on here, and then we will reprime with the gun, make sure that the oil is coming everywhere that it should be this time around. And I know there's gonna be people in the comments saying, well, didn't you prime the engine before? Well, yes and no. What we did was we cranked it up. We felt I felt the pressure from the gun building up, and I let it run for a few minutes, and I thought that that was gonna be fine. Lo and behold, it was not fine. It was pumping, but it was only pumping as far as the bottom end. So anyways, luckily for us, we did not get this thing running and run it for hours or break in the cam or anything like that without any oil. We got it fixed. And it's Friday afternoon. And Tom and I have been frigging around with this thing since about 10 o'clock this morning. And we're just now getting to the point where we're putting everything back together. So I'm thinking probably within the hour, we'll have it primed and running for you guys. Even though technically we've already had the first start, we will get a first start and run and break in, and everything should be good. So we're gonna put all this back together, and later on in a couple of days, we'll certainly be enjoying heckling from the comments. So anyways, back to work. All right, we got it all back together. It's 20 to 6 on Friday, and we are just about ready to start this thing up. Basically, I don't want to say for the first time because we have had it running, but with the problems fixed that we've had. It's full of water. We've got the power connected to the battery, and Dad's inside, and he's getting ready to give it a crank, and Tommy's sitting here with a little bit of excitement with him as well. So.
Pretty excited, yes. That's awesome. Oh yeah.
That's what was supposed to happen in the first video, guys.
We're really going to be doing this all over again.
So I didn't have the camera running, but it started stalling out. We're like, oh no, what now? We
Oh my God.
ran out of gas.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh shit. Oh, what's that Mortsky always says? Don't be a wank, fill your tank.
That's funny.
It could only happen to me. Seriously, guys.
I'm not working with you guys anymore.
Dad says he's not working with us anymore, making us look bad. All right, so we're ready to get this thing started back up again. We're gonna have to crank it over to get some fuel back into the carburetor. We're gonna warm it up. We're gonna set the idle, break in that cam. Tom's gonna give him a call so he can hear this thing purr, and we'll get some shots out back so you can hear it coming through the exhaust. So we'll get this thing started up again. We'll be right back with you. So we're just finishing up the break-in process right now. It's been running for about 20 minutes at 2,000 RPM. The temperatures come up, and we got about 27 degrees of timing. Now all we're going to do is bring it down to an idle. And we're at about 800 RPM, and I think that's where we're going to keep it for now until we can get out on the road and flatten this thing and get some real performance and start fine-tuning on that car. We do have to rebuild it, but that'll be another video. I am finally excited to be at this point of this build. I know Tommy is, he's behind the camera, and I know Hum was certainly pleased to see this thing run for the first time since 1986. So I hope you guys enjoy running through our struggles, and this is real, guys. This is real YouTube. This isn't fakery and editing because we don't know what we're doing. I mean, that's a little bit of it, but we're not afraid to show you when we make mistakes. So anyways, we're getting ready to close out this video. We're going to clean our tools up and go grab a bite to eat, so I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Pretty stoked to have had this experience with Tom and him allowing me to work away at this. Granted, you know, we've been through a little bit of heartache, a little bit here and there, but we managed to get this 1968 Dodge Monaco 500 running for the first time since 1986. Tom's pretty stoked, and I know the previous owner is also pretty stoked. Hum, if you're watching, I've had the pleasure of being able to work on this with Tom, so thank you very much for selling him the car, and to Tom for allowing me to be a part of this. It's been great spending some quality time there. If you guys are really enjoying this type of content, like I said before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video. Also, if you can hit the like button, that tells YouTube that I'm doing a pretty good job of making these videos and hopefully spreads the word to other viewers. Guys, stay focused on the windshield, not the rear view mirror. I love you. God bless. See you in the next video.